Outsiders. The newest release of Flesh and Blood introduces us to quite a few new thread mechanics, diseases to be specific. Their goal is to make assassins and rangers more consistent while also releasing 3 completely new heroes and reprinting 3 well-known heroes. Although they are releasing very powerful new cards, most of them synergize with each other and standalone they are not the greatest. So you are probably wondering what is the best way to build your seal deck and who are the strongest heroes to play with. Let's find out together. Just a quick clarification before we begin. These are my honest opinions and I highly encourage you to rank each card and hero for yourself as well, because your statement will be always more important than anyone else's. Also, I used a few articles and sources for this video, which all were very helpful in clarifying knowledge about specific heroes, cards and situations. I linked them in the description, they are worth the time to read. Now that aside, let's start with the heroes. Uzuri. She is one of the new heroes introduced to this set. She has a very interesting, unique ability that keeps her opponents guessing until just the right moment. For Uzuri, you should most likely look for cards with stealth to be able to trigger her ability, and cards that have high power and strong on-hit effects. Here are some key cards for Uzuri you should be looking for. Her playstyle is prioritizing defense and turns that chip damage by her ability. Arakni. Solitary Confinement. This version of Arakni is also a new hero. His ability allows him to strike twice if the first attack is a stat card. His goal is to pressure his opponents with multiple on-hit triggers per turn. This non-stop aggression will strip the opposing hero of cards, which lets him play bigger hands to afford dagger swings that will reduce his opponent's blocking capabilities further. When building Arakni, you will be looking for a good mix of stealth cards with on-hit triggers, as well as several attack reactions to back them up. It's important to have a mix of red cards that will deal damage over your opponent's block, and blue cards to afford dagger swings. Key cards for Arakni. The playstyle for Arakni is about playing aggressive all-in turns or preparing for a big turn. Katsu. Katsu is one of the first heroes released in the game. He is building up a wide combat chain to create the perfect combos and melt his enemy's defense. It is crucial to have many cards with Gogan to go wider, chip in some damage and play the combo cards at the perfect moment. Key cards. When building Katsu, you'll want to have lots of starters, a few complete combo lines, and lots of zero-cost cards that you can discard for Katsu's ability or pitch to attack with harmonized Kodachis. Playstyle: strike with Kodachis and another attack, arsenal combo cards to set up a huge turn. Benji. Benji is less focused on creating combo lines and more centered on chip damage, as well as making the best out of the free damage bonus from his hero ability. Benji has a lower life total because he can leak damage a lot easier, which gives him an advantage going first and also in the late game. If your pool contains many lower power cards that would normally be harmful to other heroes, you may want to consider Benji to maximize value. For him, we are mostly running blue and yellow cards, which means you will have many resources left over, so you could freely strike with Kodachis most of the time. You should also have high power cards for the end of the combat chain. Considering these, here's a list of cards that are key when playing Benji. Azalea. Azalea is a ranger who is about setting up a huge pound arrow attack with multiple on-hit effects and dominate. During the event, she is only able to use barbed castaway, which actually might come in handy in many situations. Rangers also got quivers, which give them a little extra ability once in a while. For Azalea, it is crucial to keep a good arrow, buff and deck manipulation cards ratio. Half of your deck should be of arrow attacks, since these are the cards many of your abilities cards can buff change. The other half should be buffs with extra on-hit effects and cards that can change the top cards of your deck or reveal them. Key cards for Azalea. Playstyle. Set up your huge turn, keep a card in arsenal almost every turn. Riptide is the new ranger, who has a really interesting ability as well. His playstyle is undecided yet, but it seems like he's more about patience and setting up traps against his enemies. Aside from that, he is also able to put any cards in the arsenal after playing a card, so he has some options others do not. This gives him the freedom to block efficiently and swing back with decent damage each turn. The key cards for Riptide are the following. You may want to consider building Riptide if you have good arrows but not enough pumps to support them. When building the deck, look for efficiency in your attacks and a sizable amount of defensive options. Tokens. Bloodharbor works best when you can punish your opponent for not blocking, as the prevention cost is very expensive, so most of the time you will get free damage out of it. Penalty may seem like only a slight disadvantage, but the difference it can make is huge. It will shut off any dagger attacks, which prevents ninjas from building chains and chipping in damage. With so many arsenal-based strategies running around, inertia is the perfect way to slow your opponents down. Even ninjas and assassins like to store valuable cards in their arsenal, which makes them vulnerable. Thunder is a great way to take back the tempo from your opponent or keep up your momentum. If you can land a Pounder token, it allows you to replace resources you've used this turn with extra resources next turn. It's also worth mentioning that if you have multiple tokens that trigger at the end of your turn, you can choose the order in which they resolve. Bloodrat Box versus Inertia. You may choose to resolve Bloodrat Box's trigger before Inertia's trigger. This allows you to pitch cards to prevent damage from Bloodrat Box before you put all the cards in your hand on the bottom of your deck from Inertia. Thunder versus Inertia. You may choose to put all the cards in your hand and arsenal on the bottom of your deck from Inertia before you draw a card from Thunder. Sealed format. The procedure of the sealed format. You'll get 6 booster packs to crack open and make a 30 card minimum deck from. You keep these cards. Young hero cards are used for sealed deck games. Your hero dictates what cards you can play. Cards in your deck must be the same class as your hero or be generic cards. Note, it's during the start of game procedure that the exact 30 cards are chosen. Typically, player will change a small number of cards in their deck based on the hero they are about to play against. So we can consider the rest of our card pool as sideboard. What to expect? In sealed format, it is not suggested to build around the hero, but to choose your hero based on your available cards. Configuration of a pack. So at the end of choosing cards from 6 packs, your card pool might look something like this. After seeing the numbers, it's easy to tell that common cards will determine your deck and that a majestic or rare can only point in the direction but will not define your build. It seems that one box usually contains only 5 majestic cards, so hitting one is very hard. Best majestic cards for each class. And now we have come to the most important point of the whole video, which is the tier list. Let's see. For S tier we have Arakni and Benji. For A tier we have Katsu and Riptide. For B tier we have Uzuri. For C tier we have Azalea. So what do you think? Let us and others know about it, so they can get better before their pre-release event. Thank you for watching this video, and if you liked it, please hit that subscribe button, like the video and leave the comment.